Hey guys, well, we've been doing a lot of work here on the Imperial, and maybe the most obvious thing is a bit of change of scenery. It's at my shop now here in Fort Wayne. It's no longer in the shop back in Toledo. So did a lot of work yesterday on the body and got the new bumper here. I believe this is off a similar year Imperial. The rules where I'm going to run this say that Imperials can run full framers, but they have to run the stock bumpers, and that's pretty much the only place within any reasonable driving distance that I can run this car, so that's what we're going to do. So I've got the new bumper here, bolted on. Similar damage you guys have seen in previous videos. Got the front quarters pulled out a little bit, got clearance now from the tires. Still got to get the torsion bars cranked up, but you know, still a good start. But the most obvious, well, not just the paint, but we had a lot of work done here on the back. You can see, before it used to be all blown apart. Now it's pushed down a lot more, and we had a big excavator help us out, and was able to get this looking like a car again. So definitely cool. Got the fenders cut back for wheel clearance here on this side. Got to do a little bit more work on the driver's side. It unfortunately is a little close for my comfort, so I'm going to have to be pulling that wheel back off, trimming the fender a little more, and trying to hammer it out of the way, as well as I'm going to put some nice sturdy clamps on the leaves on this car. So I still got to do that. And the big to-do for today, just because it's nice and bright and sunny for the most part, is then we're going to get some painting done on it. Now I do still have some touch-up welding to do. The door skin here is ripped at the top, so I'm going to put some new plates there, and then it's also tore off at the bottom, so I'm just going to put some new plates there as well. And then rather unique roll cage rules for this derby is you have to go from the top of one side to the floor, basically, you know, at an angle from side to side, and you're allowed now to do an X. So you can go from the top over here down to the floor, which, you know, being that that's the only thing keeping a car from coming in my car, I'm definitely going to be throwing some pretty sturdy metal in here. So I got a chunk of 3x3 by 1/4 just square stock there, and we're going to weld that up, put some plates on at both ends, and we're going to wedge it in there at an angle, and weld that all solid, and that'll give me a lot more support, so that way when I get hit on that side, it's not gonna, you know, have a car come into my car. So that'll be good, make that much safer. But we are not allowed to use a passenger door. These are very much like old school rules. It's a lot of the rules definitely cater to old Detroit steel, such as this car, and you can't do a whole lot. So we got just simple bar across the dash area, and then one across the driver's door, and then down to the floor, and then we'll do the X. Not allowed to weld in between them, just only can weld to adjacent sheet metal. So here's the inside, guys. Not much to look at. My view is substantially better than it used to be. Especially when I was in the Derby, it all blew up, so now it's got a lot of room for me to see what's going on in the back. This, man, these cars are solid, because it took me forever, even with these quarter panels cut, you know, cutting a bunch of slits in it and then trying to fold it under. It still took quite a bit of hammering to get that to happen. And so hopefully with this all wedged in here, it's not really wedged, it's just crushed down. Obviously you guys know what wedging means, and this is not wedged. It's just the quarters were already ripped apart, so those are now just sitting where they were, and we just pushed the trunk lid down flat, as well as did a little bit of more bending to the frame, so now it's curling up the whole length instead of just in this corner. Now you will notice that the from looking right across, the driver's side has not bent as much as the passenger side, so I'm going to start hitting with this corner, hopefully get this to start lifting up even better, and then hopefully get it to, you know, tuck in real nice. At least that's the plan. So just got to try to be strategic on how I make some of my first hits. And just continue on around. Got this side pulled out. Now as I said, we did have an excavator help us out with a lot of this body work, just because this car is really strong, and it would take a lot of time with a sledgehammer to get it to be bent the way that it actually is now. So look for that separate video on how to bend a derby car with an excavator. At least I'm assuming the title will be something like that. And there you go. So the to-do, what do we have to do? Well, today is Sunday and the derby is Friday, so I'm going to have a few evenings here just doing the last minute touch-up work with you know, with the welder, just putting some sheet metal on. Gonna have to finish straightening out this core support, get a radiator tucked in there. At the moment there's no radiator in this car. I just need to go buy one or find someone local that's got one for sale pretty cheap. Chances of it making through the next derby is probably pretty slim, but I gotta get something in there at least to keep the motor cool as long as I can. And for the most part this car is running. I say that like that just because sometimes it wants to run just fine, and then other times it wants to be a little temperamental and run a little bit rich, a little too much fuel, and try to flood itself out. So probably what I'm going to end up doing here is either take this carb off and clean it, or I'm going to pull this carb off and then maybe throw my racing Demon on here, and it might be slightly less carburetor than what I need for this car, but it already, just being a Demon in general, they're known to run rich. And so it actually should end up working really well on this motor. So I think I'm going to at least give that a shot. It's pretty simple, and again, I'm going to have everything already pulled off the motor, so this carb will come off either way. So I might as well at least try that and then see if it's better. So we'll get this thing running really good, and I'm going to get some paint on it here while it's nice and hot and sunny. And then it'll be mostly ready to tear it up at the derby. So definitely look forward to that video, guys. It's going to be run at the Williams County Fair here in 2014, assuming everything passes inspection and whatnot, which, you know, we build everything to the rules and probably maybe even underbuilt at times, but like this one, not so much underbuilt, but you know, I'm not pushing the gray areas too much, just because with these cars they're strong enough as they are, and I just don't want any trouble. So yeah, gonna try to get these paint job on here. It's gonna be kind of like a crazy tie-dye color. Probably just gonna go at it with some spray cans and just make it look bright and colorful and stuff like that, because you know the paint that's on it is definitely faded and dirty, and I'll probably leave maybe the roof the way it is, but the rest of it's gonna get a makeover. So there you go, guys, an update on the Imperial. It is coming along, getting a lot of body work done, cosmetic stuff for strength and whatnot also, and now I just gotta, you know, tighten up all the screws, and then we'll be good to go, set her loose. So until the next video, we'll talk to you later, guys.